What's up, everybody? Tommy Har with the Real Side of Real Estate, and in this channel you're gonna learn everything real estate investing and houses. And today we're at a house that I'm gonna show you 4 exit strategies on. Yes, 4 exit strategies. We own this property right behind me. I've actually never been to this house, and we're about to make a bunch of money on it. So in this video you're gonna hear me walk through the house, talk about the components, and talk about all the different ways you can make money on a house just like this one. So we're in Columbus, Ohio. If you don't know, that's where I'm from. That's where I invest in. This house right here was a lead actually from somebody that I'm in a mastermind with. He lives in Florida. I live in Ohio, and it's all about making connections. So you can find deals by doing wholesaling, you can go direct to seller, or you can connect with other people, and that's how this deal came from. So a little bit of backstory. He just shot me an Instagram message, said, hey, one of my students has a deal in Columbus, Ohio. You want to take a look at it? So next thing you know, he sent me a bunch of pictures. He sent me a price. For $100,000, he said that they would get rid of this thing, and I'll show you what this thing looks like on the inside. But the ARV on this property is right around $220,000. So right away, I know this area very well. We have another deal we're doing right now that we'll probably show you later, but I knew that this had some legs to it. So let's walk through the inside real quick, show you what the place looks like, kind of talk about some of the rehab that it would need to go into it. Hopefully it's not too cold in here. Hopefully they got some heat on, but if not, it's a chilly February morning. We're out here early, me and Rob, shooting some YouTube videos.
8:33 a.m.
8:30 a.m., baby. Early bird gets the worm. Come on.
Brother, the roof is even nice.
All right, the heat is on. Look at that. Yeah, we'll kind of walk through, but the reason I knew this was a deal is because of the big items. So most of you will look at some of the cosmetic-y things around this place, like the wallpaper and all it looks like it's in disrepair. But in real, if you can look past that stuff, it's in great shape. So Rob was talking about the roof. The windows are vinyl. They're updated. So all the windows around the house are updated. You got some nice hardwood floors throughout the entire house. But if you kind of walk through and look at it, cosmetically, it clearly needs updated. So you can't really live in this house, but for an investor, this is what you want to look for. Nice windows, walls aren't falling in, ceilings are okay. Let's head down to the basement first, because that's where the most important stuff is. Talking about everything being good, there's a big water puddle here. I wonder what that's from. Yeah, it might be. The furnace shouldn't be leaking like that, but yeah, it could be just a water leak somewhere. But yeah, I don't know what that's coming from. Ah, got it. Makes sense.
Yeah,
it's ready to shut off. Yeah, so the big thing is, if you come down here, it's pretty dry. Obviously, there's a big water puddle here, but there is a French drain around the entire perimeter. So when I saw this, so you see they cut out about 6 to 12 inches around the perimeter. In this area, I know that the foundations are usually pretty bad. And once I saw this, and I saw these beams, so they put beams to hold the wall back in certain areas. They're blocked back decently well. So it looks like this thing had been professionally repaired. That thing's leaking like crazy. Now let me try to turn this off. It's all galvanized and shitty. Well,
it's going to the drain, so.
yeah. So, and then this will drain all the way over into the corner. So if it was raining outside and it didn't have this, it possibly could come into our basement, but it collects around this drain, goes in this pit and shoots up and out of the house. Meaning this basement should not get wet. So there should be no mold on your floor joists. It doesn't smell wet down here. It's actually a very nice basement. And on top of that, we've got a few other good things. We got a brand new furnace. Might not be super brand new, but 2014, at least on that says. Furnaces last 20 years. We got a cast iron drain. They already added some new plumbing, but this is older, but this is a 1-bathroom house. So you got your kitchen runs, and then you got your bathroom right here. So if you have to update your plumbing, it's very simple. We've got a decent electrical panel. Some people say Pushmatic is bad. I'm gonna kind of spit off some words because that's not really the point of this, but the panel's decent and the water heater is newer as well. We got a 2021 water heater. Like I said, I've never been here, so I don't know. Looks like, oh, that's why in the contract they said we keep the washer and dryer. Got some good washer and dryer in here too. That's crazy.
Clean. A clean house.
Very clean. So like I said, bought this house for 100, and we've got 4 exit strategies. Let's show you the rest of the house, and then we can kind of get into what those look like. And I would like for you to, in the video or in the comments, let me know which one you would do. Because as time goes on, my exit strategies will change. It depends on how much money you have. It depends on if you want to hold rental properties. It depends if you want to flip houses, all that stuff. The good thing about real estate is nothing's wrong, nothing's right. It's all dependent on what your goals are. So you got a little bedroom here, but the doors are all in pretty good shape. You got nice doors. Walls are not bad shape, but they maybe painted over some wallpaper at some point. Trim is good. And then you got a nice moldy duty bathroom. So it's like everything looks decent until you get to this. Yeah, it's pretty wild. Everything else in this house looked pretty good, and then you throw this bathroom bomb at somebody.
That is not speckled wallpaper.
No, that's mold. Yeah, I'd only seen pictures, so I was like, yeah, it's not that bad. It's pretty disgusting. So that's probably a house. I mean, you could probably sell it for more. We'll get into that. And then a lot of these houses, these are called Cape Cods, means they have a bedroom up in the attic. So small little houses. I think this house is about right around 1,000 square foot. But you got a big bedroom up in your attic space. And what a lot of people will do, and there's a couple comps for about 240, they'll bump this wall out to about here, and this closet they'll make into a full ensuite primary bathroom. So on to the exit strategies. So you got 4 different options, like I said. Number 1, and I'm gonna preface this by saying you gotta be careful with doing this. So we got this deal from somebody else. You can technically, if you have a better buyer, so I have it for 100, and I know I wholesale, and I would be like, okay, I know so-and-so, one of my best buyers would definitely pay 120 for this. What you could do is you could go to that wholesaler and say, hey, do you mind if I sell this to somebody else? And basically wholesale the wholesaler's deal. In our company, in the industry, we call that daisy chaining. A lot of people, when they get into wholesaling, they think that you just do that with everything. Oh, there's a deal right here. I'm gonna JV it with somebody. That's not really how it works. The only way that works is if you have the best buyers list and you're upfront with the wholesaler about it. So, hey, let's split anything over what you're giving to me 50-50. But if you can negotiate that in and you have better buyers, you can literally make free money out of thin air. But it's all about relationships. I got this deal from relationships. Your buyers are gonna be relationships. If you wanna find buyers, you gotta go to networking events, make sure you're getting in these Facebook groups. You can cold call people. Everything in real estate is public record. So all I would have to do is go to Zillow, and I would look at flips. You can find out immediately who did it, at least who listed it. So what we do when we're trying to sell a deal is we look at the listings around the area. You can clearly tell what's flipped and what's not. Look for the gray floors, the nice cabinets, the backsplash, and no furniture. Usually that means it's a flip. And call the agent and ask them if they want to make some money by selling this deal to their client. So a lot of those different ways to find deals. So number 1 is we could daisy chain this deal. And we can kind of go outside as we're talking through this. I guess to kind of stop right there, the rehab of this property. So you've already seen the inside. We'll walk around the outside. But I'll tell you right now, the aluminum siding's in great shape. The windows are in great shape. There's new roof on the house. There's a newer AC. So outside is clean as hell. The exterior doors, I mean, you can probably replace this. That door over there you might replace too. But this rehab is probably a $35,000 to $40,000 rehab. So buy it for 100, $40,000 rehab, sell it for 220. So it's looking like a 50, after fees, raising capital, exit 2 could be a fix and flip. So you can make about $50,000 flipping this house. But that's gonna take probably if you're really good, 1 month of construction, probably a month and a half, 2 months on the sale side. Things are not selling in 30 days like they used to. Things are gonna sit on the market for a little bit. This is in February of 2025 when I'm shooting this video. So make sure you're running your ARV conservatively, and also when you're thinking about selling things on the market, they're not gonna go in the first weekend. It might take, especially if you price them high, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks to sell. I know that because we have some of our properties right now that are sitting a little bit, and some of the other ones that we price really well are going in a weekend. So make sure you're not pricing it at the very, very top. So if we flip this house, 40 grand, all the things you kind of just saw, we can make about $50,000. Amazing flip, amazing, amazing flip. And kind of walk you guys through the outside so you can see. And some other things that you'll see. I think we spent already $1,500 to demo all the debris out of this place. But if you want to see what a house that was well maintained looks like, look at this stuff. The gutters are in good shape and they discharge down underground to the curb. So most times these would come and they'll elbow right here, and they probably did before. And this is where your foundation starts to get wet. So you want to get rid of that. They got block windows. They got vinyl siding. Or not siding, vinyl windows. Nice aluminum siding. There's not a lot of dings in it. That means you can paint it and it looks perfectly. Yeah, something like that down there. You can paint aluminum siding and make it look literally perfect. So this place, you want to look for any dings. Here, this place is in very, very good shape. Very good shape. Like usually these things are pretty messed up. As we're walking later, well, if you go back into my YouTube channel about 2 videos ago, we'll link it down in the bottom. It's in the same neighborhood. We have it in contract for $25,000 more than what we paid for this one. So we got a crazy good deal on this one. New roof. So option number 3 is going to be keep this property as a rental and do the BRRRR method. So like I said, you still do it the same way as a flip. So you buy it for $140,000, and what we do is we raise private money. So let's assume that I raise another $40,000 for the renovation of this house. Let's walk and talk and go inside because this is cold. So I raise $140,000 to purchase and renovate this house. And then once it's done, it'll be worth $220,000. So I'm going to record my screen here so you guys can see what I'm doing. All right. Put my phone on Do Not Disturb here as well. So if I fix this thing up and it's worth $220,000 times 0.75, the bank will always give you 75% of the value. So they're going to appraise it at $220,000, give you 75% in the form of a loan. That's $165,000. I owe my lenders $140,000, so that gives me with $25,000 left over. So if you were using your own cash, you could maybe cash out about $20,000 in this scenario. But let's assume that I'm paying this lender and I've got closing costs and all that stuff of maybe $10,000. So $15,000 left over. So if you have enough seasoning, it's called, on the property, let's say you hold it for 6 months, you might be able to cash out. So pull out $10,000, $15,000. If not, they'll just have you lever down a little bit and just pay your lender off. So let's assume you get a loan for $150,000. So $150,000, I'm not gonna pull out the calculator and everything on that, but I know that a payment, and this is once again February 2025, a payment on a house like that, a 30-year mortgage at about 7.5% interest rate, is probably gonna be right around $1,300, $1,400 principal, interest, tax, and insurance. So this property would rent for, I bet, $1,600, $1,700. So you're looking at about $300 of pre-expense cash flow, which after all your expenses and all, but the thing is with that is this has a new roof, it has new windows, it's gonna be fully renovated. So there really shouldn't be any high ticket expenses, but you're still gonna have vacancies. You're still gonna have repairs. There might be leaks every now and again. So you gotta still put that money aside, and you also gotta pay a property manager unless you do it yourself. Me and my company, we manage our properties all in-house. We manage about 130 units, and I've done it since I started. So that's another way to kind of keep that money in your pocket, but you also got to know that's a business that, I mean, it's work, right? So option number 3 is keep it as a rental property, maybe even cash out a little bit, but if not, you own a rental with none of your own cash. And also flipping this house, option 2, would be I'm flipping it with none of my own money. So I made 50 grand using other people's cash. That's pretty much everything that we do. And option number 4, which is actually what we did here, is you can tell this place is in good shape. Well, all we did was we came in, we cleaned the house out, and we put it on the market, and it's selling next week. We've only owned it for 2 weeks. It's selling next week for $145,000. All we did was clean it out. All we did was make it accessible. One of my team members, John, he does dispo for us, so he sells our wholesale deals. He's a licensed agent. He listed it for a flat fee of $750. That's our deal that we put together. You can also, if you're watching this and you want to do this, there's listing services everywhere. You can list for 1%. There's listing services for $300. But if you do those flat fee listing services, you're going to have to answer the phone and talk to those agents. You're going to have to fill out the paperwork. So you're going to have to be versed in the house. You're going to have to understand what it's like to talk to people on the market, because if not, you may not know what's going on. So John, he put this on the market, and within, I think 2 days, 1 to 2 days, we had 3 offers on this house. One was 147, this one was 145, and then we had another low ball offer. This one was better because it was no inspections, no appraisals, cash, and they lowered their commission on the agent side. So at the end of the day, I only had to raise $100,000 for this house. I paid it for $100 for it. We're selling it for $145. I'm gonna pay 90 days of interest, so I pay this lender 12%. I'm not even gonna record my screen here. So $100,000 times 0.12, $12,000 for the year, divided by 3, let's do divided by 12. I actually know this one. So $1,000 a month times 3. We pay our lenders no matter what 3 months of interest. So I'm gonna pay my lender back here in a week for 3 weeks of holding, 4 weeks of holding, $103,000. I didn't have to do any work. I just cleaned this house out. That's all I did was clean it out. $145,000 times 0.96, 3% realtor fees. Actually, let's go 0.965 or 955. That's 4.5%. So I'm gonna pay closing costs. I'm gonna pay 3% to their agent. That gets me down to 138 minus 103, $35,475. I think we paid $1,500 to clean it out. So realistically, we're making right around, we'll make a little over $30,000 just by buying it, listing it, being resourceful. So watching this video, what would you do? Would you maybe sell it to somebody as a daisy chain or a wholesale, the wholesale for make $15,000, $20,000? Would you fix and flip this house and make possibly $50,000? Would you keep this as a rental property with no money in? Or would you list this thing right away on the market and make $30,000 without really doing anything? Like I said, I've never been to this house. And I'm not trying to brag or anything, but this is the amazing, this is what keeps you coming back in real estate. There are gonna be hard deals. There are gonna be things that go wrong. But a deal like this is like the real estate gods looking down on you and saying, hey, you've worked hard, you deserve it. Here's some free money for you. So we didn't even source the deal, and it was all about just relationship and relationship capital. So drop a comment below. What would you do? 1, 2, 3, or 4, and make sure you like, subscribe to this channel for the real side of real estate and how you can change your life, your family's life through real estate investing and all things houses. So see you next time.